Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real.
We the best season as we turn. Cause I'm out here grinding. I do this for the streets, the runners. Cause I'm out here grinding. I don't care what nobody says. I'ma be me. Stay raised. Cause I'm out here grinding. Talk about greatness whenever they speak about me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't playing nothing with nobody. Homie, I gotta get me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't slipping 8 days. I can go for 8 weeks. Ain't nothing to me. Cause I am the city.
Put my life on the line, but I'm like you to ride. I'm on top of the game, you feel like you or not. Next time I get the free, strawberry sweet. You be dealing with a when you dealing with cheese. Now she deal with the realest, shopping like it's still December. Diplomat on the fender, I'm the phantom, I'm the winner. I do it for the hood, I do it cause you can't. The suckers wish you could, Ricky Rollins in the bank. Ain't fair, heard you bringing my name up. Know you want me bad, think I give a fuck. Bad indictment now, my price don't walk. Came in the world thugging, leaving with big nuts. Yeah, I run with killers on me, so what? What you want me to say? I sold it in the dust. Send your informant, I bet he leave bust. I ain't scared to go, I believe in Jesus. I ain't going nobody say, I'ma be me. Stay raised, cause I'm out here grinding. Talk about greatness whenever they speak about me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't playing nothing with nobody, homie, I gotta get me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't slipping 8 days, I can go for 8 weeks. Ain't nothing to me, cause I am the city. We the best. What can I say? I'm a product of man. I'm in the game. Watch me do me. Valid man, call it Bruce Lee. Summer, winter, spring, I can't forget the fall. I still remain a dog, a diabetic and all I want is my paper. I don't care what they say. Stick their tongue out when they bow their head. Cause we the best. Hey, you didn't fly before you was just Mac. I'm the because I'm black. Yes, sir, the DR, the new squad. Mars, we go hard. They like, oh God, T double. He got his clique and his brothers. I know it's gonna be trouble. Dark boys on the black jag. See they don't black bag. Now they can't stand my black hair.
I'ma be me. Stay raised, cause I'm out here grinding. Talk about greatness whenever they speak about me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't playing nothing with nobody, homie, I gotta get me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't slipping 8 days, I can go for 8 weeks. Ain't nothing to me, cause I am the city.
Knock, yeah, I'm knocking on the bank door. With $1 million, then I'm dropping off the cash flow. See, you ain't heard I hit a lick. Now my money right, spend it on the U-Haul. Dipping on the turnpike. Call up my dog, swag on my face. Bodies gon' fall. Tell him it's ace. If I catch a charge, girl, I'ma flee the state. Hit my nigga, LA, read it, Cali, watch me beat the case.
And we are the best. And we say be the like the H's at the S. I got these long like I got them deaf. And I'm right, and you're wrong left. Check out this bizarre. I am regularly irregular. Cali best DJ, we the best rapper. You gotta say it's a movie, and we the best. I don't care what nobody says. I'ma be me. Stay raised, cause I'm out here grinding. Talk about greatness whenever they speak about me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't playing nothing with nobody, homie, I gotta get me. Cause I'm out here grinding. I ain't slipping 8 days, I can go for 8 weeks. Ain't nothing to me, cause I am the streets.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to Shop Talk with Mels. Look at him. I'm glad you came, sick and all. Say what's up there, Shimmy.
Hey,
are here. Thanks for coming back on this show. I truly appreciate you. Let's go to cheer 'em on. That's what I'm talking about. Doing what you got to do regardless of the situation. I'm telling you, look at them. They just won't even calm down. So in the building today, we have, of course, my sidekick, my co-host, Roogle, the movie guy. I'm sure everybody knows him.
All right.
That's it?
Baby.
That's it?
Yeah, that's in the year. Yeah.
We're about to go into a new year. People talking about they don't want to hear no 2020 and all that other stuff. Like, oh, God, 2020 vision. If I have to hear that again. Well, guess what? You going to hear it again. Because that's what we're talking about. 2020 vision. Talking about going into the new year, clear eyes. That's why today's show is Eyes Wide Open.
Oh, okay.
Eyes wide open. That's what we do. All right. So we're going to start off and knock out these hot topics real quick.
All right.
After we do that, but I want to commend you on your haircut. Something new.
Yeah. I had to figure out something. So I'm just going to start over from the fetus.
The dread, you went from dread, cut to all the way off.
It's been a lot. Yeah, it's been a lot of transition.
Yeah, in a year.
Yeah.
In a year.
Would say.
In a year. All right, what about you? I got Shimmy sipping on some tea, y'all.
I need it too.
You needed some tea. What's up with you, Shim? I'm glad you want to kick it with us. And you came and took us up on the old offer.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm trying to be a man of integrity these days.
That's what you gotta be.
It was real tempting to roll up under that cover this morning, man.
Was it?
It wasn't.
It got it like boom.
Yeah. If somebody would have been in there with me, you might have been in trouble.
I'd have been. If you had company, huh?
You might have been in trouble.
But I got some company. I ain't gonna make it.
I'm just saying.
Well, you sound horrible, though.
I feel horrible.
Do you? But you here.
I'm here.
But you here.
So you know.
All right, let's go ahead and tackle these hot topics, and then we're going to get going. I'm going to tell you the format, today's format, because y'all know I switch it up all the time. Y'all already know what we do. We're going to do something a little bit different. We might be revoking some black cards.
Oh, into the new year?
Into the new year, revoking.
Then we refine what black is?
Yeah, we'll refine what black is. If you don't know, there's something wrong with the issue. Something wrong with the issue. All right, so if you hear some sniffles, some coughs, and all that stuff, pay no mind. That's my boy Shimmy in the building. But he here.
But I'm here.
He here. Myself and Roogle doing it up. Yeezy. Now, Yeezy got some new shoes. Kris Jenner was wearing them. Now, they $220 a whop. Did you see them?
No.
Did you see them?
Nah.
They look like swim shoes. Like, they're flat, like no support. They just cornball to me. But people are buying them.
People gonna buy them.
Off the name alone.
The uglier this shoe is, the uglier something is, the more people want it for whatever. And it's just all he gonna do is slap his name on it, and he can put a trash bag, and people gonna buy the trash bag.
And that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Well, I got an interesting Kardashian link this morning.
Did you? What was that card? There we go with the Kardashians.
Basically, I think it's going to be in the Atlantic.
Inspector too.
There's going to be an article in the Atlantic that talks about how reality TV dominated this decade, and so part of it is they talk about look at Donald Trump. He from his reality star grounds now he's president. But the interesting thing was they said the Kardashians ruled the decade. And the thing that this lady brought out that was important, I think this article is going to be in the Atlantic, is that it was all really because of her marrying Kanye West in 2012. Or I guess it's been that long, or getting with him in 2012 or whatever. He introduced her to the person who I think is the editor of Chanel magazine, and that's when she got the cover. And from that point, it was that was the gangbusters that let everything loose.
I disagree. I disagree because
article.
Listen, I disagree with whoever wrote that article. So y'all need to go and tune in to Shop Talk with Mel because I'm going to tell you
the credit.
Kanye do not get the credit because Kim was already known. People knew her with Reggie. They knew her with Ray J. That's what started with Ray J. But she was with Paris Hilton first because remember they came out first, and then their reality show just didn't really do nothing. But what really broke them through and kind of got them out there was OJ. So give OJ his credit because her father represented OJ, and then it was like, who are these Kardashians? Oh, wait a minute. That's the girl that hangs out with Paris Hilton. Who's Hilton? We already know.
But they're saying, as far as like him giving her that link to be on the Chanel magazine cover, legitimized her.
No, it didn't. I still got her the same way. But I mean, she's trying to do better. I don't believe people that have to stay in the same place that they started in.
Now,
Okay.
let me ask this question, and I've had this conversation before. What actually did she do wrong?
She ain't do nothing wrong. She just did some favors and had a good time on tape
With her boyfriend.
That's it. So she didn't do nothing. Ain't nobody doubting her because the girl she's in law school now. Well, actually, I take that back. She's studying to take the bar because she didn't have to do law school.
It's an internship for 3 years.
Right.
It's California's law.
Right.
So it's some bull.
You feel as though it's bull because she ain't got to pay it back.
Me,
but she might be okay.
But she pay it back.
Once again, what did she do? And that's saying you saying she did nothing wrong, but people criticizing her for that.
You can't criticize her for that. Let me tell you.
On the books. She's taking advantage of something that's on the book.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. You got to get that credit for her success, all of their success with the Kardashians to Kris Jenner, the momager. Because the mother took something negative and turned it into a positive. It was like, okay, they know you, boom. But like I said, when they first came out, because she was a stylist first. So she was styling people and doing her thing. So that's what she was known for. And it just blew up. But they've been around for a long time. I want to say back in 2006. I don't know exactly when because I ain't following them that much. But way before Kanye. Now, when Kanye came, because I remember watching, because I used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because I like my ratchet TV. Okay? So when I was watching it, I seen where Kanye was liking her, even through other people that she was married to. And then she went on and, finally got with him. But no, Kanye didn't make her. Whatever article that is. I understand you got the article.
I want to say he made her, but I see what the
he helped her.
He helped take her to a more another level. I can't think of the word right now, but he helped take her to another. Not legitimize her, but he helped take it. It's like almost like in a rap game when you're able to cross over. He kind of did that with her, like just. Because there was a time where, like, what's the lady, the Vogue lady, the little Anna Winters, she started messing with Kim Kardashian because of Kanye. So
the people that he knew, so the people that you know. Right. Okay, so that brings us back to our next topic.
I don't know too much about this.
That's good. You're not. What you say? You know too much about it. Yeah. But that's what happens with. Okay, so is it wrong for you to help someone if you have an advantage, if you know someone?
Everybody been doing it forever. The only problem in certain communities, I think the argument there sometimes is like if you may not have the power structure to help in a real way, then sometimes it falls apart. That help falls apart. So, like me, I might be able to give somebody be able to say, hey, I want to get hired at this job. And I'm like, oh, I know this one person. You can use me as a reference, right? So using people as a reference is, I guess, that's a legal way, right? Yeah, but sometimes it's like her way was just, I'm bringing her back up because she wants to do the thing to be a lawyer. Well, her father had all the connections in the legal world. How easy is it going to be for her to get an internship at a law firm? So it's on the books, but it really ain't that available to everybody as it is to someone who has the proper connections to be able to do it. I don't know. You know everybody.
I'll be looking up like, what is she doing there?
That's
a good point.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But I also think that as African Americans, we have a real problem, whether it's a fear psychologically or what, of helping each other. White folks don't got no problem with helping their family. You might see at one company, you got 8 generations of family in this company. We have a problem with nepotism. I've come to, listen, if I'm in a position and you qualified, you getting a job. Period, point blank.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Well, I think the thing is that like when you talk about like that, you have because it's a lot of,
because it is nepotism. That's what it is. I try not to say that, but that's
a lot
of
companies that's such an it was one company locally. It was something and Sons, and then they had a daughter, so they had the new commercials. Such and such and sons and daughter. You know what I mean? She made it to the sign. You know what I mean? And so it becomes a family business. And then when the family business becomes a family empire, and then it'd be like, okay, like the issue. Then we have the issue of like, hey, why everybody in this company look like y'all? You know what I mean? Or why is there no diversity in this company? Why is it none of these things or whatever?
And
And
then they
Like,
oh, was it? Yeah, who
you
you knew?
Not even necessarily family, but if you didn't know somebody,
Uh-huh.
like you in there, but you ain't help me get in there. You gonna help him because you know him. Like it don't even necessarily got to be.
What was
family.
that thing? It was like and I could be wrong about this, but
It was
check
something.
me. It was like a lottery system based off of people who worked there putting other names in there. Something ridiculous like that.
There is no facts to this.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's what I allegedly. Don't come after me because I ain't got nothing yet.
That was the rumor.
One of the things we fear is, well, if I put my name on him, then he don't work out, I'm gonna look bad.
But that's the truth. That's what references.
But they don't worry about that. See, that's one of those things. As black people, we have. That's another hat we always have to wear. You know how they say we got to think with two different brains. We got to think with our black brain or our in the house brain, and then our out the house. They don't worry about that. If it don't work out, it just don't work out. Okay, recommend somebody else. We like, oh, they gonna look at me crazy. They gonna, you know.
Okay, in a position, I was in a position where I did the hiring and the terminating. When you get those resumes that come across, and it is somebody that, okay, well, this is somebody's family and you know the person, I was always fair and consistent. And I always say fair, firm, and consistent, depending on where I was, employed at, but fair and consistent. Okay. And when you look at that and somebody does put a reference and they say, hey, this person, blah, 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 blah. And then you like, okay, well, you are hiring them on. So that's a reference that you're getting. You're hiring them based on, okay, I see your credentials. Now let me see. Okay, this person said you're okay. This is a good worker. So now they say, okay, let me hire this person. So they like, okay, well, I know this person. They're a great worker. Boom. I'm going to take their word for it. And then that person just quits after a day or do a no-show. And then they put another name in, and that person does a no-show. Well, guess what? I ain't doing no more references with you in that position. Let's be realistic here, because you have to look at that.
Right.
Now, me personally, I'm like, they're going to show up. If they show up, we can work with them. That's all I care, because there's so many shortages. We're already a shortage of nurses, and then the people didn't want to come up, come to work. You'd be like, how old are they? And you didn't discriminate. I'm just keeping, I don't work there no more, so y'all can't go out there, and I ain't going to say the name. You didn't discriminate for the age or anything, but I'm going to be honest with you. I would call them in, and the interview started. The interview started when you walked through that door. You should be interviewing me, and I should be interviewing you. And where my office was at, I was right at the front. I see you hip-hopping, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, I understand the interview is not at this time, that. Or you come in. If you come into the interview and nothing happened on the way, and you come into the interview right at the deadline, I know I'm going to be stressed because I'm going to have to call somebody, because guess what? You might be late or you might not show up. Now, I did see one young lady who was jamming outside, talking, boom, boom, boom. She had an interview with somebody else, but I had a clear view and I could see her. And I'm like, wow. And the type of work that we do, and I heard her yippity-yapping, talking the whole nine. I had to take that young lady to the side. My black sister, I had to take her to the side. I said, listen, come here. So she came on in and we were talking. I said, I'm not the one to do your interview. You're in a different department. I said, but what I will tell you is that your interview started when you walked through the door.
Yeah.
She said, really? I said, yeah, take the headphones off. And she said, okay. She said, yes, ma'am. So she was able to be taught. You know what I mean? She was listening. It was like I could redirect her. And she was like, I didn't know that. I was like, nope, when you walk through the door, I said, you're on camera. I said, and we're watching you. So I feel you on that. Let's just try to help each other instead of saying, okay, well, guess what? She out. You know what I mean? And then that person that might be late coming up in there, that might be your best worker. But like I said, it might be something that happened, like a flat tire, traffic, you know what I mean? So you have to take things into consideration. But we do look at that. And if you do give somebody a reference, I'm going to be honest with you. I look, and if they gave me 2 bad references, I'll be like, You know what I mean? Because it's usually family that you try to help out.
Right.
And then the family screw you. But yes.
But I'm really becoming more aware that it's really about who you know, not necessarily about what you know. And I got fortunate because even in the position that I have now, I don't know this position. But fortunately, somebody who likes me knows someone else who's in a position.
It's who you know.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, but I know I'm willing to learn. I know I'm intelligent. So, it ain't rocket science. But at the end of the day, I still needed to know somebody in order to get.
And it wasn't all
and I had
just your
positions
knowledge.
where I was actually qualified for. They're like, nah, we can't. Yeah, we cool.
Isn't that something?
Like,
And it's discouraging. It's discouraging.
extremely discouraging.
Like what happened with what's the one that just they went to jail where they got some jail time or some I can't even think of their name right now. I'm drawing a blank. Because he's sniffing.
Well,
He's sniffing.
Can I interject while you figure out that name?
Yes.
I think part of this issue. Okay, I just got done reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' book Between the World and Me.
Okay.
And in there, he talks about. I'm paraphrasing this because it was a longer piece of a chapter, but I just kind of squeezed together the things that I wanted to say. He talks about in there, like, we try to prepare to be twice as good and may only expect to get half as much.
That's the truth.
And then
that's the truth, though.
Then in another section, he said, and then expect to have thrice as much against you. So you ain't even at square one. You know
right. You like, I prepared for square three, but I ain't even at square one.
Yeah, and I thought that was so interesting because that leads like that really blends into this issue of like, is my reference if I reference somebody or give somebody a hand and they don't fulfill the work or whatever when they're doing it, then it ends up being okay. Like you said, like your reputation being ruined or something like that. And the thing is, like you said, Shimmy, the issue becomes why is it so? Why do we put on so much weight for that? And it's because we gotta scratch and claw for everything we get. You know what I mean? And that becomes a reality that sort of really shapes how you give people chances in some cases. But I think sometimes when you have the power, because it's people who got the power. You know what I mean? That are of color and things like that. And you can say, well, like sometimes, and this may be petty for me to say, people may get upset with me, but when you get the power, stop giving away turkeys and give away opportunity. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like in a real way, like it needs sometimes, like, and don't get me wrong, people need those things, and that's important stuff. But sometimes we got to look at how we help in a larger way. Like, I mean, is it workshops we're offering? Is it like, field trips, sabbaticals, different things that can help somebody learn a new process or a new way. And sometimes it's just that mentorship piece that I think we need to have more developed in the Black community. Not that it ain't there, right? But it needs to be known that it's there. You know what I mean?
What you describing is that feed a man for a day versus teaching him how to take care of himself situation, right?
Yeah.
And that goes to a mindset also that people have to develop. And sometimes you got to develop on your own. I remember having a conversation, and it wasn't in a necessarily all the way legitimate situation, but I was offered some help, and she said, "Do you want a handout or a hand up?" I was like, "I want a hand up. Don't give me a handout. Like, I ain't a handout type of guy." But a lot of people are handout type of people because they're lazy. They don't want to do nothing else.
I think too, though. I mean, I think there's a balance of it. Like, there's a balance of like, okay, what people can do, and then what people accept that then people put limitations on what they possibly can do. Yeah, I remember having a conversation with somebody who I admired quite a bit until we had this conversation about, they said, well, I don't want to, how did they put it? I don't want to basically make expectations not to follow and not follow through with them, which I was like, I don't understand that. And it was like, because my thoughts are, you make the expectation, work towards it, and then if you don't get it, well, at least you got something else. You know what I mean? Or
that's a lack of confidence.
Yeah.
That's a lack of confidence and lack of self-esteem.
Like Terry Cruz's life story is sort of like that. He he knew he wanted to be in movies and stuff like. Well, he knew he wanted to be involved in Hollywood, and he was like, "Well, I can be poor," because he's a former NFL player. Then what his talents was that he's an artist, and so he was painting pictures and stuff like that of the other football players and all that stuff, and he was selling them and everything like that. But he was like really wasn't a starter, that kind of stuff. And so when that life left him, he was like, well, I want to be involved in Hollywood or whatever. So he had no connections, but he ended up being a bodyguard on set or something like that or whatever. But the point was that even though he didn't see the opportunity for what it was going to become, he put himself in a situation to be closer to where the opportunity could take place.
That was smart.
So
I guess my question now would be when black, well, actually, it's not even a question, it's a statement. When black isn't black enough.
Yeah, man.
It's like...
We don't have that problem these days.
Yeah, when black isn't enough. It's like, listen, we already have, like, what you say the author's name was? The author?
Coates.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, you prepare, and that is the truth. You hit the nail on the head. Let me tell you something. I used to go into those management meetings. I was the only face in the place.
Yeah.
And I am going to tell you, you would go in there, and I had to be prepared, over-prepared. Because if they had a question... Yeah. They looking to me for the answer.
Uh-huh.
Thank God I was able to give them the answer. So then it had got to a place where they stopped asking the other one, but you got a Caucasian lady over here, which is my girl. Kudos to her, because she's the one that gave me the opportunity, okay? Which was over me, but I'm going to be honest, I was pretty much running the whole facility. She was cool. But that's what you want when you hire somebody. And that's the nurses that you want when you hire them, that, bam, they can stand on their own and it makes your job easier. Mm-hmm. But she didn't have to, and she was like, oh, I don't know. And it was okay.
Right.
Mine was, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
Because if I don't know, it's like, what do you mean you don't know?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I got extra, another line of questioning that's going to come after that. Yeah. So yes, I had to prepare even more. Right. And it's like, geez. And that's as a female. So I can only imagine as a black male in the work industry.
It's so crazy you say that because I was trying to get a bag any way I could legitimately since I've been home. So I was working trying this construction stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's freezing. We in mud, all type of stuff, right? And I'm the only black guy. And they got these two little scrawny white dudes with me. And these dudes taking smoke breaks every 5 minutes.
I know, you're like, who you know?
Like, yeah, but they don't care. And it's so crazy because psychologically I felt like I had to do twice as much.
Yeah.
Because y'all looking at me. But then it got to a point where I'm like, man, hold on, wait a minute. Hey, man, pick this up, man. Like,
you became the supervisor?
Yeah,
you became the crew leader?
You, man. Like, but I had to almost reprogram myself because we programmed to be like that, right? And I'm like, hold on, but I'm not going, you ain't about to just play me. You ain't about to take advantage of me. Hey, man, you take care of this, man. And they like, oh, okay, all right. But I literally had to go through that myself. Like, man, I don't want them to think I'm lazy or nothing. So I'm carrying twice as much as these two dudes together. You know what I'm saying? Man, when the dude wound up letting me go, he was like, man, you work harder than anybody on the crew, but X, Y, Z, I gotta let you go. And I'm looking at this joker like, man, I should have been out there lollygagging too.
Like that, huh?
You know but you know what? You think that because I've been in a situation similar to that, and my problem was it was a younger black man I was working with that really disappointed me because I was like, man, you have no work ethic, and sometimes it's like if you got a deadline to get everything done. And then you feel like you carrying the brunt of that because you have somebody that's like, oh, I'm just going to walk away and do something else. You know what I mean? Or do something that's ineffective to achieving the goal. And you like, well, why would you, like, what's in your thought process that would make you think that is the priority? And that's the thing is like sometimes when you at a certain point in life, like not even like that. Like if you, like, I don't know, like for me, I seen at an early age men working and stuff like that or whatever. So you have an expectation of what your work should be. Then you have an expectation. Then there's expectations that people that people there's I'm trying to think of a word that would be opposite of expectations, and I'm having a brain freeze right now. But I think people can have expectations for you to do well and expectations for you to do bad. You know what I mean? And sometimes the things will be manipulated in a way where you be like, this doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this makes no sense at all. And like one thing that I noticed, one thing for me was like, I couldn't express disdain. Well, I don't know, disdain is strong. I couldn't express like the issues of like, hey, I really don't like this with passion. You know what I mean? Like, well, like, hey, this is why this is this or this is that, you know? And the only way it like is sort of accepted if it's in a like a war cry for what everyone is aligned in,
right.
But not necessarily in a situation where you come out and question a system, even a system that you work for, like question it in a way that like, how do you improve upon that? Like sometimes I think like people, they say, oh, we want somebody that's going to ask questions, that's going to do this or whatever. No, they don't. Because sometimes it's like, because you hear that thing like, well, you know, this is what the one person made, this and that. And that's cool, they made it. But the issue becomes, if it was somebody else that came down from up top and said, this is how we need to fix this, everybody's cool with it. But if it's somebody that reports to a middle person and they like, well, that, you know, this and that, and you challenge it, then it becomes, well, you think you know what I mean? And this is why we don't do that. Or this is, I mean, yeah, but that was, sometimes limitations happen because you don't have the ability to do it at the time when you first started out to do it, you know? But is this, I don't know, is this a hard balance? Like sometimes it's like, do you just put your head down and do what you got to do and then like feel like you dying inside a little bit? You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, or do you just say like, or do you say, hey, this is not what's right, you know, on a few different levels?
I think it's a lot of different components that play, or different factors that plays into that. You know, someone who, like, I can't even say myself, but someone who might not have kids or wife or people he responsible for can be a little more, you know, vocal or whatever on certain things. But then someone who, like, at the end of the day, man, I gotta get this paycheck, man. These bills, I got my kid. It's like you want them to be like that, but you gotta understand that they not like that. You know what I'm saying? You got stuff to risk, right? And then sometimes it's the people who don't have the connections, like a family who have stuff. They're like, I want to keep my stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like this car. You know, not having a family maybe it lets me drive this car versus that car. You know what I mean? You know, but I think though, as far as like a message I would want to say like to black men is that like we understand that like there's times where you may have to I don't want to say times to settle, but the issue is that if you find yourself settling, then it's time to make a larger plan. You know, and I think that's the thing. Like sometimes is that like, you know, the old adage what they say, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, you know, that sort of thing. And I think that has some relevance to it. But I also think that the issue is what sparks opportunity and how do I get that opportunity, you know. I just did the book, The Black Klansman. I didn't see the movie, but I did the book. And it's a part in there where the author is talking about when he first joined the Colorado Springs Police Department, he was a cadet. And so every time he would see the guy who was like whatever it was to be a detective or something like that, or undercover cop or something, every time he seen the guy, he'd be like, hey, when you gonna make me a detective? Or whatever it was.
You never saw the movie?
No.
Oh my gosh, you guys see the movie. It's freaking hilarious.
You gotta do the book.
I'll read the book. I'm a reader, so I'll read the book.
But, you know, but it was like the thing was, he had a rapport with these people. He's 19 years old when he started this out. And he had this rapport with people where he was just like, every time he saw that guy, he was like planting that seed. Hey, when you gonna make me this? When you gonna make me this? And the guy would laugh and walk away, and then he talks about how it all started, which I probably will watch the movie.
Watch the movie, it's hilarious.
To see the comparison.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Even though we know, like, usually the books, it kind of gives you create your own image.
Yeah.
So then when you see it, kind of remember we were talking about that before, and I was like, read the book, and you was like, watch a movie. I forgot which movie that was, but let me go ahead. Can I go on to the next hot topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, next hot topic. There was a man in Colorado who robbed a bank. He was a Santa lookalike. So after he robbed the bank, he got the money, threw it up in the air, and was like, Merry Christmas. His name is David Oliver. So a lot of people probably are like, hey, go Dave. You know what I mean? But we already know. Well, we don't know. We don't know what his punishment will be since he threw the money up in the air and said Merry Christmas.
It's
a Santa lookalike.
But how much did he? How much?
They didn't say, they didn't disclose that because I got it like fresh off the press.
Yeah, they know. They ain't telling.
Right.
Did he do?
He was a white Santa.
Did he do it again?
I want that.
He was a white Santa and it made news. We already know if he was a black Santa, it'd be a different spin to it. And then he ain't said Merry Christmas. He ain't said nothing. He said Happy Kwanzaa.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what? Go ahead.
Hey, what if somebody came up to you and said Happy Kwanzaa to you, and they were of a different occupation, a different a different race or whatever?
I'm such a
What happened?
Careful.
Yeah.
That's some hot tea.
What, it dripped down his neck or something?
It burnt my
Man.
It was a hot tea.
Y'all heard me hollering on the show.
Yeah, you know it's live. Hey, we ain't faking the fuck. It's definitely live. You all right? You got some cold water over there. Gotta measure it out. But what'd you say now? If somebody came to me that was white and said Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
I don't
How
know.
would you feel?
I don't know. Should I say like Feliz Navidad? Well, if they was Hispanic, Feliz Navidad. Happy Hanukkah.
It would depend to me how they said it.
Happy Kwanzaa. Just assuming.
Well, I mean,
So
not
what
even
would
the assumption, but like is
Happy Kwanzaa. Yamuji. What if I hit him with one of them? You know what day it is.
My issue would be
Okay,
like,
watch this. What if they know?
That's good.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, but you can't assume. So what he's saying is just people just assuming that you celebrate Kwanzaa.
Because you black.
Honey, if you gonna say Happy Kwanzaa, I'm like, where's my gift? I got 5 days, honey.
yeah.
Where my gift? I don't know. I feel so bad. That's that white fragility. It's like I'm trying to be politically correct and I can't.
I was over the education department of NAACP when I was incarcerated, and so I put a Kwanzaa program together. And one of my dudes came to me like, "Man, this professor wants to bring these dancers in from up in Cleveland in something house.
Harambe dancers?
Yeah, right. But he like, man, they want to bring the dancers in and speak on Kwanzaa and that. And so I'm all for it, right? He like, man, the dude white. I'm like, man, hold on, man. I'm like, I'm tired of white people trying to tell me about my history, right? We can find some black people. But fast forward a year, this man started a book club. Man, he was instrumental in helping me get out. But through our journey, I wound up asking him. He actually brought a guy in from Georgetown University to do a film on black music in prison, where it started from, right? Very interesting film. But through our journey, I wound up finding out that his parents were civil rights activists, right? So he wound up getting it honestly. And he knew his stuff. And that's why I asked that question, like, what if they actually know?
They do know.
You know
Most
what
of
I'm
them do
saying?
know. And the people that usually give us a hand up, just like you said at the beginning of the show, the people that give us you said a hand up or a handout?
Right.
Listen, the hand up is usually not the same as us.
That's true.
Let's be realistic here.
Going back to what we was talking
Well,
about.
Right.
the power dynamic.
Yeah,
The-
sometimes.
the power,
I like this sweater.
Because like even in
Is it
this,
from Christmas?
no, I bought it around Christmas.
You bought it
time.
around Christmas
You know what
time?
I'm
You
saying?
got the
It might have been the 12th day of Christmas I bought it. You know what I mean, or whatever. But it wasn't like for Christmas.
Okay, go ahead.
Like in that, okay, because this is what I was talking to somebody about fundraising for a group, and it's a predominantly black group, and I was like, I know this one group, they'll do stuff like have like, oh, the Ohio State is playing. Bring $20 or a bottle. We're gonna have this, we're gonna have that, and this, it's a fundraiser, but bring either one, or bring both, and they making these pockets of money here and there doing little stuff, but it's sometimes built around like, okay, they might have, like, obviously bring a bottle. They talking about having a couple drinks and watching the game and stuff like that. And, like, sometimes when we fundraise, like, we do it in such a way where it's so prestigious that we put all of our fundraising efforts into that one prestigious event instead of like those little nickel and dime things that get you through the year.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the prestige of it is such in a way where it's like, oh, we can't have alcohol in here because of this or whatever factor. Or we don't want to do this because of this and that. But the other organizations that could be for or against us, you know, they find ways to fundraise. They don't mind taking a risk of fundraising outside the box because they know, hey, the reality is this is what people do. You know, when people watch games, they may have a beer and a slice of pizza. You know, and
instead of hitting us over the head with $45, $55 a ticket, let's do $5
for a one-time event.
Right.
You
let's
know
do
what I mean?
$5, $5, and $5, and then you get more people. But then you have those, let's be realistic, that have fundraisers all the time and want you to come all the time. It's like, well, can somebody else get a chance?
Yeah.
Like, let's do this. But go ahead.
But I don't even know why I kind of feel like I get off.
Yeah, like good times.
But to Shimmy's experience, I think that the issue is that, like, sometimes white people who have the power are willing to do things that may seem eccentric to black people who have the ability because there's more to lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you get this guy's like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. It for him and his colleagues, it's looked at, oh, you so progressive. You know what I mean? Right. And for us, it's like, oh, no, you just trying to defend a fact, that you trying to defend something and try to make something different, you know, just like how it was with the drug crisis, crack versus opioids. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think sometimes it's a thin line, but it is good when we have allies that recognize that the influence they can have to improve a situation.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I agree 110%. That's what they said on Mari. I'm 100%. I'm 110% sure.
Look at his eyes. Look at his nose. Look at his ears.
He is the father.
You are not. I seen that the other day. It was like he was 1 for one and not for the other one, but he wouldn't have been around for the one that he was if he knew that the one that he wasn't
that
was.
Night shift.
I was like, oh,
watching daytime TV.
Yeah.
What you going to? Hey, Amanda Seal is to join The Real. That's The Real daytime, replacing Tamar. Now, word to the curb.
She been replaced already, huh?
Well, she been gone for 2 years. Two seasons.
Tamar. I thought you meant Tamron Hall or whatever her name is.
The girl. No.
Like,
she got it. Yeah, they tried to remember that. We ain't gonna talk about that. Anyway, Amanda Seal, if you guys don't know, she's a comedian. She is now to join The Real permanently to replace Tamar. Now, word to the curb is that Lonnie Love was leaving, and they were saying that she was she was going to replace her. No, she'll be the 5th person. But Lonnie was talking about the money that she gets, the money that she's paid, her salary versus her co-host salary. So allegedly she wants some more money. But like I said, I got these from other media outlets because y'all know I be sitting there looking through. Let me see what's going on.
Is she funny? I've never seen her before.
You never seen her stand
Amanda
up?
Seals, no.
Oh, Amanda Seals? I don't know. No, not really.
I mean, she looked at
Is Lonnie Love funny to you?
I don't even know who these people are.
My gosh.
What's her name? Lonnie Love?
Lonnie Love.
Oh, no.
But I can't say nothing because Life Jennings is supposed to be in Washington, D.C., so I'm going to go do that for New Year's.
Life still singing?
Mm-hmm. Life Jennings. So I didn't know who. I was like, sound familiar. What the heck? So I was out yesterday, and she was like, Mel, you know who Life Jennings is? And I was like, that was the one that was with Carly Rae, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and he proposed to her with that fake ring. I said, when she fell off the bench, I was like, oh, the Ratchet TV. And that's so sad. Like, listen, my Ratchet TV, I know you from my Ratchet TV versus real life. So when you say reality is taking over, but they were saying that, 15 years ago? No, yeah, 10 years ago, because when I first started this show.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of money. And
with Real World, when it first came out, the Real World, everybody was like zoned in on that. And it was like, okay.
I think because we all have a certain amount of voyeurism in us. You know, we curious about people's lives.
We are.
And so.
More realistic.
Right. And
that's why we like the Cosby Show.
Able to bottle that and like, okay,
It's cheap to do. Just throw a couple cameras up. People gonna watch it because we curious. Like,
nosy. Worry about what somebody else doing in their house.
I'm surprised they still got movies at the movie theater. Man, I went to the movie theater, man, and I was literally the only person in there.
See?
It's a great time to go.
Look at him. He like that.
But I love that. I'm like, remember, and this was on the weekend. I'm
It
like,
used to be packed.
Everybody going to the movie. I was literally the only person, and I was watching Queen and Slim. I'm like, this movie gonna be pumping. I was literally the only person in the movie. I said, wow.
But that's how it is, like, even at the malls. Shopping online. People are, convenience. But I think that we need that connection, that we need to relate with one another. You need that. Mm-hmm. And going to the mall, seeing a stranger, how are you? You know what I mean? You need that connectivity. And eventually they're going to see like, oh, wait a minute. Because if everybody's going in their house, like my girl Erica Campbell, did I have her? Nope, I don't have her. I'm going to put her on here. Where she was talking about we need to stop just going into our houses and shutting the doors. And we watching the reality TV. That's probably why. That's probably why people aren't getting out much. But when they said it was the beginning of the show, it was like we'll be celebrating 10 years. Woo woo! Next year. At the beginning of the show, we were talking about reality TV, and when they were saying reality was taking over, Real World was coming on, it was like, okay, that was the first one that came and people were interested. I wasn't interested in the Real World, and I was like, I can't see them changing all TV, because that's what they predicted, that everything was going to be reality. I'm like, no, we need programming. And like I said, I'm going to say with the Cosby Show. I still like the Cosby Show, and I want to move on. Tony Rock, he was actually on the Mike Show, Mike Hill. You know Mike Hill, right? Mm-hmm. He has a show on Fox Soul. So y'all check that out. He's good. That's the one that's married. Here we go, my Ratchet TV. Love and, no. Real Housewives of Atlanta. He proposed to Cynthia Bailey. The Miss Bailey. Love her to pieces.
Oh, that's a brother. He do the sports stuff.
Yes. So he doesn't work for ESPN anymore, though.
Oh, he don't?
He don't work for ESPN anymore. And I'm going to talk about Jamel Hill, too, because she was on there. But Tony Rock actually made a comment about Bill Cosby, and he said that he would be fake if he said that he ain't like him. He said, yeah, this is what he did right now. He said, but I started from Bill Cosby and I gained this, and I can't say that everything that I had got from him or obtained from him early on before he knew this information, he can't say that, okay, well, I don't like him anymore. How can you program that? How can you reprogram that? And that's what I want to talk about, even like with the Me Too movement that happened in 2019 with all these different people. And kudos to him.
But the thing is this too, though, right? There is not a human being who is all good or all bad.
And that's just what he said.
So
go ahead.
It's like, okay, yeah. I mean, a person can look at my life prior to and be like, man, I ain't about to listen to nothing this dude got to say because he did X, Y, and Z.
And see, I don't know that shimmy.
Because you was bougie. I couldn't bring that shit around you. I had to, But, so, if you just looking at a person, I had an ex-girlfriend whose mom told me before, when I was young in the streets at the time. And she said, baby, you got a good heart. You just got to do bad things.
You have to do bad things?
Because I was 14, 13. I couldn't get no job, so I sold drugs.
At 14?
I started selling drugs at 12.
Why? How did you get introduced to that? Tell me that real quick. Sum that up real quick in 5 minutes.
I was tired of people talking about my gear. So I went to one of my big homies and said, man, I need some fresh gear. He introduced me to somebody, and I started selling drugs.
Really?
Yeah.
That simple?
Yeah. I mean, you said sum it up.
Yeah, 5 minutes. But that's simple. So it's just like, okay, well, if you didn't meet the criteria of being cool.
I got tired of getting cracked on in school. And it wasn't that I was dirty. I just didn't have no gear. You know what I'm saying? I got put out also, so...
What do you mean you got put out?
Oh, my stepdad.
Okay, so you got put out the house.
Yeah.
So why? Why did you get put out?
Because I was trying to protect my mother. He had jumped on my mother, and I was trying to protect her. My mother was in addiction at the time. She chose to stay. I got put out. So I had to start fending for myself.
How did that make you feel?
I still struggle with abandonment issues. Like, I got real live... That's probably why I ain't in no relationship right now. I got abandonment issues.
Listen, some guy I know, he said something that he told me off top he had abandonment issues. And it's not the same story, but it's just really interesting to see, how old you guys are now.
Yeah.
And to know that nobody would ever think that you were like put out. So you kind of kept your business to yourself versus this younger generation. They telling it all.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't. The people who knew me knew my situation because, even though
maybe that's a different social media.
Even though we was doing the wrong thing, like they knew I ain't had nowhere to live for first. When I started first selling drugs, I ain't had nowhere to live. So, I'm staying.
So the big homie let you stay with him.
Homie let me stay with him. Granny my dude's granny might let me stay with her. You know what I'm saying? It was situations like that.
So you pretty much had no other choice.
No,
you fend for yourself.
I didn't have no other choice.
Interesting.
So, and then as the years went on, you become accustomed to
certain
lifestyle. So now it's like, and not just the financial aspect of it. I realized the other day, I was having a conversation with someone. I have only maybe initiated a conversation with a woman in trying to establish like a relationship with her, maybe 3 times in my life. Because I've always been in a position where people wanted to be with me because of who I was. So I've never had to initiate like, hey, like I like you, like you cute.
For street cred.
I ain't never had to do that.
No,
so,
I mean, so
fact,
chicks wanted to be with you just to say, okay, I'm with this
guy.
Right.
Matter of fact, me and my dude, it was just last night. He was like, yeah, it ain't that tight. We old now, bro. We don't get it just off our names no more, right? You know what I'm saying? But I thought about it like, so all of that encompasses being in the streets, the money, the women, the car, all of that, you get addicted to that. I learned that in prison too, that I was just as addicted to that life as a crackhead was addicted to smoking, getting high. Absolutely.
Wow. I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah.
Look at God. Won't he do it? I feel like I should give you a hug. I'm like, oh, man. Because you don't. And we had that conversation. Remember, you kind of told me, you was like, Mel, you have to see things. And we view things and we base our opinion based off of what we experience. And everybody's experience is different. And I was under the impression that when I was younger, that everybody had the same lifestyle that I had. And then when I got older...
When you told me that, I said... when you first told me that, I'm like, you can't be serious.
I was so serious. I was so serious. Like, thinking everything was the same. And then people that were really close to me, after I realized, I was like, wait a minute, what? Really? That happened for real? Like, it was a facade. They was faking the funk. And it was like, man, that has to be hard. You have to wear the mask. And that's, who wears the mask? You don't know. That person next to you wears the mask. So that's why I have an issue with, and I know this is off topic, but I'm getting ready to go there. When I deal with the little people, I'm talking about the children at the school. You don't know what they've been, and I have learned that you don't know what they go through at home. So for you, the school might be their safe place.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so you have a teacher. Go ahead, you can handle it. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
When you might have a teacher that's giving that child something extra, meaning more stress. It's like, wait a minute, I'm coming here because I need to learn, but now you causing me more stress. Right. You don't know what I'm dealing with at home. Not that they need to coddle them, but you need to do what it is that you need to do and not pass judgment. If this child acted up today, why did that child act up? If you got 21 students and you don't have time to find out why that child is acting up today, guess what? Just encourage that child and let them know that there's always tomorrow. And you as an adult need to know there's always tomorrow so you get a fresh slate.
We have a hypocritical society in that sense because...
But you got people that will take what happened yesterday,
right?
And
you're supposed to get to the why in order to adequately met out justice or punishment if that's required or help. We don't do that. It sounds good, but most people they too lazy to do that. I don't care why you was acting up. You was acting up. Let me just add more stress to you by getting the paddle. But you was acting up because you just got your face beat in at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, but people don't want to take the time out to figure that out. Khalil Gibran, you know who Khalil Gibran is? I love Khalil Gibran. He's a 19th century philosopher, right? He had a book. He got a few books, but he said, before you put an individual on trial for what they've done, put the environment and the society on trial for creating that environment of that individual. Meaning, before you, let's say, example, I steal something, right? Before you just met out the punishment on me, find out why. Because I might have stole it because I asked 10 people for something to eat and they all said no. That's different than a dude that's just greedy over here that just want it just because he see it. You don't give them the same punishment. Them aren't the same situations. Not saying don't address that, but you got to address that differently. But if you don't find out the why, you can address it differently. So you still gonna punish me, but guess what? When my punishment is over, I'm still in the same situation.
Okay, go ahead.
You are familiar with Khalil Gibran. He wrote the book The Prophet.
Oh yeah, I do. Yep, yep, I do. You're like the prophet. I know the prophet. Yes. All right. Jamil Hill. Speaking of, look, I went to Mike Hill. Jamil Hill, the one who actually did the tweet that said that President Trump was a white supremacist. She didn't get suspended for that. She ended up was spoken to about that, and then she ended up like a week later getting.
Can I stop you real quick? Because somebody wants to know who you are, so you need to tell these people who you are. Just a couple people was asking me, who is the lady talking?
Oh, okay. Hey, Google me. Nah. Shout out to Mel. I'm Mel. How you doing? Author, playwright, everything. Look, everything. Radio personality. Woman. Yeah, Renaissance. I was doing it. Jamil Hill, real quick. What she actually said was, she said that she doesn't have any regrets. And kudos to her on that. Her having the regrets. Her not having any regrets allowed her to become who she was. She ended up getting married. And once she said she probably wouldn't have done that. She said her being at ESPN, maybe it was her time to go. Her, having those issues as far as her having the issues and how she thought of freedom of speech. But she was held captive. I felt like she was held captive, and I feel like we are held captive when you can't say exactly what you want to say.
Well, I think the thing is that you can say what you have to say, but you better be able to frame and defend your argument.
Okay. And
so, like, if she just said, like, "Hey, he was endorsed by the Ku Klux Klan, and this is why I believe this." So, if that particular hate group is
I think that's why she was spoken to. I think that's why she was spoken to and not suspended on that part.
Yeah, but like if you can defend your argument for it, then I think the issue becomes like they may not like you, but it makes it hard for them to justify negative action towards you.
Okay. And that's true. Now with Mike Hill, they said that and Mike Hill was speaking and he was very outspoken as well, but he felt like, and this is, secondhand, talking to him and then reading and seeing the different articles, so you don't know which ones are true, but I do watch Fox y'all. I'm gonna say that again. I like that. Pretty much like your hands are tied. They're telling you what to do, and he gave her kudos because he was saying that usually certain networks, they groom you into who they want you to be, and they told him when he was very outspoken. They said, we already have one of those. And I can't remember who the person was. What do you mean one of those? Okay, because that's what I said. I said, what do you mean one of those? They already had somebody that was outspoken. And I'm using air quotes, ghetto, they said. Okay, this is from him, what he actually said. And he's like, we need you to be this way. So they kind of like formed him and molded him into the type of reporter that they needed him to be.
Yeah.
So... with that being said,
and it becomes a brand of a show. Like, what do you want this person's role to be? Like, we don't care what your personality is. We want to be able to fill the gap to address ratings issues.
Yeah, but then you're not real, and that's what he was saying. He liked the fact he liked Jamel because she was real, and she stayed true to who she was.
Fake news.
He do say that. He do say that.
Or news that doesn't fully give representation to I think the issue is that I think it's like any other job. I'm not necessarily paying you to express your opinion. I'm paying you to express the interests of our organization.
See, that's crazy. That's fake news. That's being fake and phony.
No, I think that's being like for example, like Stephen A. Smith. I think he's a company man.
He definitely is a company. He's a rich company man.
Like of late, he's been like he got that $8 million a year. He's like, oh, ain't nobody messing this up. But
okay, so do you watch him? Do you like Stephen A. Smith?
I watch him. I don't have anything against him. But he's definitely a company man. But see, go ahead,
and I'm gonna say I met him, and okay. we were going back and forth, and I want to say 5 years ago, 2014, we were down in Atlanta. It was like a forum or whatever. Candy Burris was there, all of them were there, and I'm up front, and y'all probably got the footage. And for those who don't know who I am,
because she just asked, "What's her name?"
Shop Talk with Mel, baby. And
she said, "This is good."
With that, he actually said, now this is the not $8 million man, okay? And he was saying how it was hard for him to get in a relationship because of who he is and his status and not even really his status, just who he is and the let's say the role. Y'all got the air quotes again, okay? The role. Now, here I am on the opposite side, and we had that conversation, and he was saying that he's attracted to an alpha female. That's what he said. He's attracted to an alpha female. So everybody was coming up to the mic. Me and T Love. Shout out to T Love and the ATL. I stood up and I had mine. I said, okay. He said he was attracted to the alpha female, but he wanted her to become a beta female. Because his description was, she need to be there for me. She need to cook for me. She need to, be there when I need her. Okay, but you're attracted to the alpha female. And that's what happens. That's a lot of us that, look, moving on, I'm an alpha female. And I'm attracted to an alpha male.
So you said an alpha female cannot be a housewife? Is that
that's where I'm? That's
See, now I'm about to tell you. Okay. Alpha female is hard for now. Because I build a freaking. I will build. Let me tell you. Let me say. I'm saying. Listen, y'all. How y'all gonna say it? I'm an alpha female.
Okay, but
wait, and then y'all get to say what y'all want to say. An alpha female. If you are attracted to an alpha female, she's a go getter.
Okay,
she's about her business, what she's gonna do. Now, here's the thing. This is what. And look at him laughing. I am about me and my goals.
Okay,
and. How am I going to win? I don't want a beta man. I don't. I'm attracted to an alpha male. But that's when you have to have, you have to have that alpha personality. So somebody's going to have to bend. Now, I'm with y'all on that. Somebody's definitely going to have to bend. But no, I don't know any alpha females that are housewives. Because if I was a housewife, I'd be to build another house in the back.
So let me challenge you to shift your perspective in this sense.
Okay.
Right? Let's go back to when we was growing up. Now we know my household was dysfunctional, but in general, like our grandparents and stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Your dad came home and he did what with his money?
Gave it to the grandmother.
Who ran the house?
The grandmother. She was an alpha.
Who took care of the kids?
The grandmother.
But who was the head of the house?
The man.
The man was the head.
So what I said?
But hold on.
So you just said she was an alpha female. She was.
That's why they got a divorce. You ain't asked the rest of. You ain't asked the end of the story. You ain't asked the rest of.
Well, I think he means in generally speaking, not necessarily.
I'm like, look, he ain't asked the rest of it.
You know what I mean?
And
you can be both. You can be both.
And they stayed married. Yeah. And she ain't let him go.
You can be both.
Kudos to Ann.
You just gotta, or whoever that person is, that alpha woman has to decide what that looks like for her.
Listen, don't mistake an alpha female for not taking direction or from a man being the head of the household. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. Somebody I know, I ain't mad at her. He talking about he the head of the household. He wasn't working. She was working. Guess what she did? And it was funny, though. She was like, okay, you want to be the head of the household? She was like, well, head this mother up and quit her job.
Well, that's this cut off.
Sidelands. Where is the cricket?
So let me just read this real quick. So this is to say, I believe myself to be an alpha female, and I have to say that I know her. So
go ahead.
I believe myself to be an alpha female, but I also know how to turn it off when I have a strong man that I trust to take the lead.
To take the lead. So, now, let me tell you something. That is good. And I'm going to tell you this. Being a boss at work, and not a boss how they using the term, but actually physically being a manager at work, you don't want to be the manager at home. I'm going to say that. That is the truth. Because you want somebody that you can actually trust to say, ooh, I want to take that hat off. Let me be the lady. Let me be the woman. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, take control. But the thing is trust. And hopefully if it's somebody that you married, you trust them to do right. Like I told you before, if you listen to the show, I ain't going to say no names, but somebody that I used to be married to wanted to invest in garbage bags. Now, team garbage bags.
Everybody need them, though.
Listen, team garbage bags. I ain't saying that. I support you. I support you 100%. Did I think it was a good thing? So they was like, oh, can I borrow this and that from what you have. Now that's a problem because I thought it was a bad investment. But you know what I did? Here you go. I already knew. So then nobody said anything. And so about like 8 months go by. I said, hey, how's that coming? Everybody said, oh, yeah, it didn't work out. I knew. Meanwhile, I invested this, but I had enough. Here you go. I'm with you. Team bags. Ain't nobody gonna see. It's just a liner. Yeah. And you got to get the copyrights. You're like, it was just way out there. But I ain't saying that.
It's work to do, but you got to do the work right. That's
you got to do the work right and you need more money. But guess what? It was 3 of y'all going into it. It was just...
Carla Lee said she both, and she been married 34 years.
Well, congratulations.
All right.
And so everybody is different. Now, as far as personality conflict, you will have that, like I was saying with Stephen A. Smith, and that was my question. I'm like, but you want her to be available when you are available. Now, I was accused of that. Somebody said that to me. They was like, Mel, you want somebody to be available when you're ready for them to be available.
I say that to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
somebody. I wasn't saying no names.
Familiar,
Yeah, I wasn't saying that. But it is the truth. It is the truth. Because you're doing it, you're so driven on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And I'm sorry, nothing and no one is going to come in that space.
So then here's it. So that's an oxymoron. Because you're an alpha female who's attracted to an alpha male, but you really need a beta male.
No, I don't want no beta male. I want no
alpha male is
lapdog.
not going to be able because of what you just said.
He needs to have his own life.
Okay, but he still needs to make sure that he's getting validation and attention from you.
Oh, he can get that. But let me tell you, I had
but not just on your time.
I understand that. That's why. Look, that's why I'm like, I need somebody that is like boom, and then we schedule. And it's so sad to say you're scheduling, but I already been there, done that. Look, I got the ring to prove it. It's upstairs. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? It's at the house. When I say that, you know what I'm saying? However, it's just like, this is what I'm trying to do, and when I'm ready, it'll happen. And somebody gave me an analogy, and he was cool with it. He said, here's the thing, Mel. He was like, you want to, and this is somebody else. You want to tie your alpha male. He was like, okay. And he associated men, and not in a negative tonation, with dogs.
I know what you're about to say.
And he said, we're going to give you a Rottweiler. You're attracted to a Rottweiler. Okay. He was like, so what's going to happen is, he said, you want to tie that Rottweiler up on the tree, and then you go out. I said, well, I feed the Rottweiler. And he was like, and then the Rottweiler break loose, and then he go. I said, but he come back home. You know what I'm saying? He know where he fit, and he come back home like, oh, okay, here we go. But when I'm ready to settle down, I'll be ready to settle down. But there's a lot of guys that'll pretend. There's a lot of beta men out there that'll pretend that they're alpha men. And then when you get with them, they all, they need this, they need that. They so needy. And guess what? And for the line of work that I do, it is to build people up. And that's good. And I can give you some. But if I'm building you up and you emptying me out and nobody's pouring into me, I can't give the people what they pay for. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I'm an alpha man. But I'm needy when it comes to if my lady, I want my lady to love on me though.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she can.
So, I think that's.
I'm sure she can. I'm sure she can from 1 to 3. From 1 to 3, but when she got to work, honey, listen, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And you hate to be that way, but I'm just keeping it 100 and there you go. What you got to say? Because you were talking about the alpha female. Go ahead. I see all your little stuff.
Yeah, that was other notes I wrote down.
Okay.
I forgot, yeah.
Look, you got
I'm letting y'all flow with it. You know what I mean?
He's so organized. Hey, the New Year's Eve ball has arrived yesterday to Times Square. Y'all excited? That's on my bucket list.
Nah, really?
Yes, it's my bucket. And this is like the perfect weather. I should get in the car.
Yeah, you should.
And just drive on up there.
Because a couple years ago, they went up there a couple years ago, and she watched it from her hotel room. She said, it's too cold outside. I said, why you go all the way up there just to watch it from your hotel room?
Just like I could feel the energy. I was in the
that's what it boils down to. It's just the energy.
Because the issue is where you...
Let me give these facts real quick. The ball is 12 feet, totaling a little over 32,000 LED lights, and it weighs over 11,000 pounds, that ball. How about that?
That's a big ball.
That's a big ball.
Yeah.
You hope it don't fall on the body? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
I just think that would be a logistical nightmare, just being there. Because you got to figure out, you got to stand the whole time. You get up, you this close to everybody. Then where you use the bathroom at, where you get a drink of water or whatever, See,
that would be at the back. Like, how do you get back to your spot? You can't drink nothing. And I'd be like, I got to be there every 5 minutes. Can't drink nothing.
Go tell me how it is.
Tell you how it is?
Yeah, that's one thing
Go
I have
live?
no desire to do.
That's because you like space.
Yeah, I've been like, no. Like, I watch it on TV and that's good enough for me.
You like, no.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go in 2000, though, because that was it. All right, y'all, let's move right along. You ready? Black Card Revolt, real quick. Yeah, how much do you know? Who was on the most wanted? What female was on the most wanted list in 1970? Female, 1970. Black Panther.
Giovanni, what's her name?
Finish court.
Nope.
Hold on.
She's the second one. No, the second one.
What's
I'm
her
gonna go with the
name?
second one.
Is she?
Come on now. Angela Davis.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
That's what
I couldn't get it out.
She was on there before Phoenix Secure.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
there.
Angela Davis.
Yeah.
1970. I want to say it was October. Yeah, I think I
Like,
want to say it was October.
it might have been the 13th at 12 noon when they made the decision.
Yeah,
Right before
yeah,
Ham and Rye.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go, guys.
Yeah, I feel bad about that one.
Who was the members of Earth, Wind, and Fire? Can you name any of them?
Not a one.
Go ahead.
I said not a one.
Not a one?
Not a one.
I can't do it.
Who am I sitting here
Like, I
with?
know the
Now watch
group if
this.
I see them, but I don't know their names.
Now watch this. If you get in my car, you will hear them.
Yeah.
Still can't tell
I
you
know
who
the
they is,
songs,
though.
you know, but it's
Maurice
like,
White.
Okay.
Philip Bailey.
Okay.
Woo!
Yeah. He did this song with
And Verdine White.
Genesis. No, it wasn't Genesis, but
All right, here y'all go. Here go a chance to redeem yourself. Who founded Apollonia?
Prince.
Hey!
It was like founded was a weird word.
I know,
founded.
Who
It's like you playing this
created-
flag in that.
Yeah, he did. You
Ah.
know he did.
Yeah.
She was everybody's fantasy back in the day.
Hey, yes. All right. Boys to Men. What was their original group called? Didn't you like Boys to Men?
I don't remember their original group name. It wasn't like I was research that. I didn't like it to the point of like, let me research these guys.
What's your
You know
favorite
what
Boys
I'm
to Men song?
Probably Thank You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know Boys to Men? You know about Boys to Men?
No,
Yes, you do.
I don't. I've never listened to Boys and Men.
The End of the Road?
Unless it was on the radio. I
Okay,
didn't like Boyz
you
II
ain't buying. Okay, well, I'm glad they changed their name because they were called Unique Attraction. That's all like something from Young Sound Like a Dance Group.
Words out of variety show.
Like, let's find some words that mean something different and something that mean what we do. You know,
That's all I let y'all
Glitter
go.
pants, pop locking.
Right. Like
can see
Unique
that
Attraction.
name.
Like this is what we gonna do.
Yeah,
All right,
that's a terrible
females, pop artists.
All
It was two of them that were the first to be in rotation on MTV's videos. Who was that?
female pop artists.
Female pop artists,
Whitney
two black.
Houston
Okay,
and
the first in rotation. Go ahead, female pop artists. Come on now, you do know.
I wouldn't even consider Whitney a pop artist.
And so that's good because she's not on there.
Oh, I thought you was nodding to him that he was right.
No,
I was
she
gonna
wasn't
say,
on there.
how is she not on there?
She wasn't the first in rotation.
Jodie Watley.
Almost, nope. But that's good.
So you got me thinking now. He said that. You said
But
almost.
MTV, I'm thinking Sade, but MTV, she wouldn't have been on She was on MTV, but I don't.
Donna Summer.
Oh.
When you say Jodie Wiley, that's what I think of Donna Summer. And Tina Turner.
Okay.
Yeah, that they were.
I
first in
remember
rotation.
Tina Turner vividly, but not Donna Summer.
Donna Summer was doing it. Matter of fact,
I
she
don't
won 5
remember-
Grammys, and
Yeah,
Tina
but I
Turner won
remember
12.
doing like maybe that was MTV before it was on cable or something. I don't
I
At first I
didn't
was
watch
thinking-
MTV because we ain't had cable, so
Oh,
that's another thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, we ain't had cable.
Oh,
They ain't
man.
have it on there. They ain't have it in the project yet. I had to go over to the west side.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I don't. Okay.
Who you think of? Michael Jackson Thriller? That was the one.
No,
you think
I
of?
was thinking
'Cause that's
Whitney
not-
Houston.
Oh, no, she didn't get there. How will I know? Wasn't on there yet. The first
When
one
did
in
that come
rotation.
out? Like 83 or 82?
Yeah, she was after Michael Jackson. Matter of fact, she probably came the same time that Michael Jackson came on there.
Who did?
Because of Whitney Houston. Because a lot of people think that Michael Jackson was the first one that
Oh,
came
yeah.
first in rotation, but he wasn't. It was Tina Turner and Donna Summer. So kudos to those ladies. Well, guess what, fellas? I'm taking both y'all black cards.
You can have mine. If this is a test, take
Right.
it.
Take it.
Take
Take
it.
it. Take
Right.
it.
all this trivia.
Yeah, y'all could
You gonna ask me about
feel
black people
proud.
on the white channel? That don't make no sense.
Well, all right. Who was the first? Okay, here you go. Who
feel
was the
proud.
first?
If it was
Who was the
BET.
first host on BET?
Donnie
Simpson.
Simpson.
Hey, all right. Okay, all right. Here go one. All right, here go one. What shoes?
Oh Lord.
Listen, now this matters.
This
This matters. Black lives matter. This
These
matters.
shoes, this matters.
What shoes don't you want to get dirty at a family cookout?
Your white ones.
What's the name of them?
Your Air Force One.
Bam!
You don't get your ones dirty. You might get in a fight. You get your ones.
Bam! There you go. Air
Be like,
Force
even though
One.
it's at the park and there's mud and trees around here.
Right.
Bam!
Don't
All
step on
right,
my
you have
one.
redeemed yourself. Both y'all like y'all white, but you like which
I'm just
one?
saying, like your test was culturally biased.
That's it. I knew the answers. It was stuff that I knew.
I don't know about that.
Hey,
Man.
it was stuff that I knew.
I don't know. You gotta call Henry Louis Gates and have him check that test.
Hey, Roogle, what's happening in the movie world?
Man, this is what I want to talk about, and I want to talk about everything that I enjoyed in 2019 and for the decade. But I will say this: Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is not one of those things. It was like not one of those things at all. I happened to get a chance to watch it and was like, "This is not the way you wrap up a 42-year legacy." It's not the way you do it.
Okay.
But they did it. So my top things, the things that I liked best in 2019 was number one on the list. This is the only one I'm ranking. Everything else falls in how it may.
Okay.
Oh, HBO's Watchmen, starring Regina King.
Okay.
The best thing, I have that as the best series, not only for 2019, but for the decade, actually.
Okay.
Then there was The Mandalorian, a Star Wars piece there that's on Disney Plus. Us, by the Jordan Peele movie that came out. You didn't even remember that even came out in this year. And then Spider-Man Far From Home, because I thought that they took one of Spider-Man's hardest villains and made it a really good movie. Then there's a show called The Marriage Story that stars Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. That's on Netflix. I thought was good. Brightburn, The Joker, Dolomite Is My Name, The Boys, which is a series on Amazon, The Avengers Endgame.
That's a lot.
Yeah, hold on. I can't even read my writing here. Oh, David Chappelle, Sticks and Stones.
Man, listen, that was all right. God bless you.
For the decade. Now, for 2019. For the decade, I picked 2 or 3 per year. 2010, Book of Eli and Kick-Ass. 2011, Bridesmaids and The Help. 2012, Wreck-It Ralph, Django Unchained, and Beast of Southern Wild. 2013, 12 Years a Slave and The Butler. 2014, Whiplash, Selma, John Wick. 2015, The Hateful Eight, Straight Outta Compton. For 2016, Fences and Hidden Figures. For 2017, Get Out, Logan, and Cell Block and Brawl in Cell Block 99. 2018, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Sorry to Bother You, and Black Panther.
I still need to watch that. So
Okay, which one? You haven't seen it? I haven't seen a lot of those, but it was a few of them that I actually like The Butler, Straight Outta Compton,
Yeah.
and Black Panther.
Now, some of the things that I thought were the best things on television in the decade, though, Blackish was the top of that list. I included all of the Marvel movies as like one saga.
Okay.
Like, I think that really defined what this decade was as far as storytelling. Kim's Convenience, The Good Place, the Planet of the Apes reboot. There's a show called Happy that was on Sci-Fi. The Dark Knight, which doesn't count now that I think about it, because that was before 2019. 2010. The Big Short, Shameless, Kingsman 1 and 2. My Husband Won't Fit. It's a Japanese show. It's really good on Netflix.
Okay.
Justified, Black Mirror, She's Gotta Have It, Stranger Things, and Chewing Gum.
Chewing Gum is a movie?
Chewing Gum is a show. It's pretty good. It only had a couple seasons, and it's about a Nigerian. I don't know if they call it Nigerian English, but they're Nigerian descent, but they live in England, and it talks about this girl's issues with wanting to not be a virgin anymore.
Oh.
And it's really good. I can't think of the actress' name as a player, but right now this is what I went so far to say this. Now I said things that I watch. So I will give credit to shows like Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, but I did not watch those shows.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But the notoriety that other
watch
people
it.
talked about it, I thought it was important to give notice. Actors of the decade, I want to give that to Mahershala Ali and Viola Davis.
Okay.
With honorable mention to Regina King. Honorable mention to Regina King, Chadwick Boseman, and Kerry Washington. Most of influential, I believe, in Hollywood, Tyler Perry and Jordan Peele over this decade.
I would agree. Tyler Perry is doing it, so he put Medea to rest and just making it happen with his different shows. He has. I heard it was like a Paramount studio.
Well,
and I hate to compare
has the
it,
biggest studio,
in Atlanta, which is really
the biggest,
which is cool. That's awesome. So kudos to you. You know, let's go ahead. Let's give it to him. I'm like, let's give it to him.
Some claps, no claps.
We got it.
All right.
Let's go ahead and give it to him. That's your list. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, we're going to start with the Mels Medical Moments real quick.
All right.
Look, without the sound, that we going to do, okay? We are going to talk about boosting your immune system, the benefits of garlic. Do you like garlic?
I do.
Do you like garlic? I do. And as you get older, you don't care about how your breath smell, right?
I keep gum stuff in the car, so.
There ain't nothing going over there. Look, gum, whatever, you can pop 100 of them. It'd be like those big blows. Remember the cheap gum?
Yeah.
If you had garlic, you could get the most expensive gum, right? What is that? That one you lit liquor? What was that commercial? It's a gum.
Orbit, yeah.
Orbit gum's supposed to be like the best gum. It don't cover garlic. But I'm going to tell you real quick the benefits of garlic. It's an immune booster. It's said to decrease blood pressure, decrease bad cholesterol, improve brain function. Hey, I need to go ahead and get me some of that, okay? Detoxify heavy metals toxicity, like, that you may ingest or whatever. We don't want to do that because what will ultimately happen, it can destroy your organs, okay? So we don't want that to happen. So garlic is good for that. Also, it keeps bones strong and it fights fungal infections. And they say that that's a natural antibiotic as well. And it is said to combat allergies. And with the weather being the way that it is, and you hear Shimmy coughing and sniffling, I'm coughing. I was sick, last week or the week before? It was like, everybody just passing off. You've been pretty healthy, huh? So
I've been okay.
Have you been eating garlic?
Living on the edge. Actually, my wife had mixed up some kind of tea with hibiscus and garlic for sure because it's so prominent in the drink.
Okay.
And something else, a whole bunch of other, and garlic, ginger and some other stuff.
Okay, well there's your garlic. There's your Mels Medical Moments. Garlic. Go out there and get it before they boost up the price on it. Y'all already know how they be doing things, all right? All right, so there's your Mels Medical Moments. Moving right along. Shop Talk question of the week.
All right.
Okay, so you're not married and you're dating a guy. Your family... Well, this is it. You're dating a female, okay?
Not married.
Not married, okay? Not married, and you're dating. Let's put it that way. Your family invites the family over, but won't invite the significant other. Huh? Do you go?
Oh, wait.
Married, but you basically got a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Okay, you got a girlfriend or boyfriend, and they have children. And your family invites you over. So let's say the grandparents invite you over, and it says family only. So your significant other's children and significant other can't come.
See, the black
your children?
No, the person you with has
the person you
other
with,
children.
right?
That
So it's family. It's family only. They serious on family.
This is my question.
Go ahead. What's your question?
There's people who will claim to be your cousin that had no relation to you, but they invited. They at the place.
Okay.
That happens a lot.
It happens
a lot. But
then
the other thing is how long these people been together? Because if it's 7 years and there's no more what they use common law. But the issue becomes sometimes people take so long to put a ring on it that you might as well just accept them people as family anyway.
Okay. What's your thoughts? If they say, hey, you're allowed to come, but your girlfriend and her kids can't come.
How much I like the girl.
Yeah.
But how do you even get out the house? How does that work?
Man, look, I mean,
So they living with the people now?
Yes, they
so
live
there's
together.
a lot of more information you keep throwing in the
Yeah,
layers.
yeah, yeah.
later
They're
on.
living with the person.
Yeah.
They're living with the
So
individual.
they live together. He's invited to the family thing, and she's not, and the kids is not.
Right, the kids aren't. You going or not?
It's a lot of variables. That,
Is it now? See, that's interesting. See, me personally, I wouldn't even want to go. And if I was the girlfriend, I don't want to go if it's all like that anyway. I'm like, I don't want to be with them. And do you marry that person? Because you're going to eventually have to marry that family. Think about
well,
it.
not necessarily. I mean, and see, my experience is family wise is I don't want to say unique, but it gives me a unique perspective on family. Like if I get married, my wife don't necessarily got to get along with my family. Like at the end of the day, and I don't necessarily got to get along with hers. As long as they not interfering in our relationship, then so be it. If it would be nice, yeah, but that's not a mandate for me. It's not a mandate for me for my wife to like my family. Now ain't nobody gonna disrespect each other.
Okay.
But y'all ain't got to sit down and hang out and do all that. I mean, yeah.
You're not doing it? You're not going?
I might go.
You might go?
It depends on what it is.
Listen,
It depends on what it is.
I'm gonna be honest with you because depending on the type of family, maybe they probably have like gift exchange and they look like she got like 5 kids, and I ain't got enough of that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, if it's a gift exchange, then you can just
not a gift. Let's say you got like a few gifts up under the tree, and then you got to buy like 5 extra.
You ain't got to buy. You like, here go a family gift. Here's that Disney.
game.
Here's that Disney
Monopoly.
movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Monopoly
whatever
for the
it
whole
is.
family. Spend some quality time with each other. Put your phones in the basket.
Yeah,
So that's
you just be creative. You ain't gotta, break the bank.
Okay. So you're inviting the whole family. You taking her or not?
You taking her? I mean, him? You taking him?
Let me tell you something about me. Here's the deal with me. If I'm with you, then yes. But I don't take boyfriends places to like family functions. And I'm too old to have a boyfriend.
If they living with you,
they live together, that's
like
different. But because I have a cousin, and every year, not even like every family reunion, I ain't gonna say every year. Every family reunion is somebody different. And it's like, dang. Now I'm taking you to I'm different. Now, if I'm married, yes, let's go on here. We're going to go to the family reunion. Here you go. Ain't no sense in me wasting my time taking you to the family reunion. And then next time, if we have a family reunion, another 4 or 5 years, they going to be like, you're going to have that 1 hour. Where's so-and-so at?
But shoot, most marriages don't last that long.
Yeah,
You ain't lying because guess what?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. First, my husband at the time, he went to the family reunion. The next time, we divorced.
So
So it was like, I did 10 to life. You know what I'm saying? It's like 10 to life got on good behavior. I'm like, that didn't work out. But that's true. But I just feel like, no, I ain't doing it. And then my family, honestly, my family, like,
I
they
wouldn't
accept
be
everybody.
offended if you told me like, yeah, I'm gonna go, and you can't go. I wouldn't be offended.
You wouldn't be offended?
wouldn't
You
be
probably,
offended.
but see, I would be honest. I'm like, listen, they don't want you to go. So, you want to go?
But you
You
know,
gonna start some
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
They don't really want you to go.
I really wouldn't be offended by it. Like I don't know. I just probably from my experiences. You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't. Okay.
I'm like, I ain't
see when we
fooling
get
with some
back.
people, but I would rather somebody be honest with me, be like,
But
hey,
no,
Mel.
I would want you to go. I would want you to go because family is important to me. I just don't feel like I have to. I don't necessarily have to be a part of yours. If it happens like that, it's cool. But I don't have to necessarily because I got mines.
But usually, like, if you're with somebody, the people that are important to you, they know your significant other anyway. Because they're in your circle anyway. So it's like, okay, here you go. Now, me going to a family function, I'll go, but let's be honest here. Sometimes you're feeling awkward, and then, you might get accused of being uppity or snobbish, because I'm an observer. So I kind of sit back and I watch and I look. And I remember going to a cookout, which was so funny. Me and this one aunt, I love her to pieces. She's hilarious. She gonna ask me, which was, and I'm leaning against And I know them because I know the game. You know what I'm saying? The one aunt asked me, I guess she wanted to see how long we was together. She asked me, she was like, where's the aluminum foil? Now, y'all probably like, that's no big deal, right? Well, listen, aluminum foil, if you know where the aluminum foil is at, that means you've been there a while. Right. If you know where the aluminum foil is at in somebody's house, you definitely frequent this area, okay? So the one aunt asked me that, right? So I sat there, I gave her what she wanted. I was like, oh, I don't know, you got to ask him. But I knew where it was at. Then the other aunt leaned over here, which was the test. She's on my left side, right? And she was like, did you make the potato salad? I bust out laughing. I was like, no, you know I ain't make that potato salad. I was like, he bought that. Trying to play me, but I got her. And we cool to this day. You know, but those are the type of things that we already know. We know, like, the elderly person is going to look and see, okay, well, is she making his plate? Is she not making his plate? Let me see is this a keeper or not? You know, you look at all of that stuff. Interesting enough. And y'all probably don't even know, being guys.
Yeah, I don't care.
We're being tested.
It's too much energy.
Yeah, right.
Like,
And then too much energy, but y'all don't
like
even
I'm
know.
exhausted hearing about it.
Y'all don't even know.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, because it's
Hey,
a lot.
man, she checked the box, man. I like it, man. God, man.
Do you like yes or no?
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
know what I'm saying?
But listen,
Yeah.
we are getting screened. We are getting screened. And vice versa for guys as a female. What we do, we look at the guy and we be like, And then we already know our relative. And then we know that, we know she crazy. And we be like, oh, no, what he seeing her? You know what I mean? We do look at that.
But you know what? You're right, because now that I think about it, like my sisters, man, listen. Listen. Especially Shell. Trina tell me what she, you know, she both of them in their way, but Shell, we have a lunch date.
Okay.
Now tell me about this girl. And then I get drilled. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, god dang, Shell, like, so you're right. Now, yeah.
We do
Females
that.
Y'all do the man, look. It
We
ain't that
we-
serious for us. It ain't for
y'all,
me. It
so
ain't
y'all,
that
so
serious
y'all
for me,
easy.
like-
So tell me this: how important is smell
oh, extremely important to me. That turns me on or off.
or off? So
Yeah.
y'all still, as grown men, y'all still doing the scratch and sniff?
I don't even know what you're talking about. You always gotta. I always say, by default, I don't know what you're talking about, because it's usually something like, you know, the scratch and sniff.
If I'm doing the scratch and sniff, I already made the decision already.
You already made it. You already made it.
I already made the decision already.
Have you ever? Okay, here we go. Have you ever been with a musty chick?
No. I will no.
Have I ever smelt a woman's must before?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, hold on. See, okay, so I wouldn't equate it to must, but had a very strong.
She is an alpha female. Alpha.
I haven't been with a female who's been musty, but I have been with a female that be like, man, I still smell, and it wasn't perfume. Like I still smell her.
Yeah.
So was it a pleasant smell or was it just a smell? What mothballs? I ain't gonna say
It didn't turn
mothballs.
me on.
Okay, well then that's not a good smell.
That
That would be a no.
Hey.
But it didn't
The only
turn me
reason
on.
I'm asking that is because my son, I'll never forget, he was really liking this girl. Liking her. I mean, really liking her. I was like, oh, okay, both of them in the sports, they top of their game. And he let her wear his hoodie. He got his hoodie back. He was done. Let me tell you, he was so done, because you know how he is, though. He was so done, he threw the hoodie away.
Jeez.
I was like, well, he was like, it's musty. He threw the hoodie away. Sir, that was $78.99.
She was working hard, y'all. Like,
Listen,
man.
and that it totally turned him off because he was going hard for her. And then once she wore the hoodie, he got it back and he didn't like it. And it was
That'd
done.
do it. That'd do it.
She shouldn't have given no funky hoodie back. She should have washed it.
She should have washed it. Maybe that's
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's just
I'm big on scent.
So y'all hear that, ladies? And listen, y'all already know I do the research. I'm gonna try to do what I can do. You heard that, ladies? Smell is everything. Now here's the thing. Now tell me this.
I ain't say everything because I'm a visual person.
Is this true? Is this true or false? So if you like the smell, and you say I like the way that smell, and then we switch up and play perfume and wear something else.
I got a story.
That depends. See, that's tricky because I wear a lot of different colognes depending on how I feel.
But if somebody you like said, if I'm sitting there and I say, Oh, Shimmy, I like the way that smells.
I'm
You know
gonna
that I
make
like.
sure that you smell that anytime you with me.
See, that's where I was going with. Go ahead. What you got?
My wife had tried a perfume. She was a Juicy Couture.
I think
Okay.
you told us this last
Yeah.
Because every time I think
You don't
about
like
this
it?
story, drunken cat piss, man.
I
like,
really said that.
Yes.
every time
And that's how you know
smell-
somebody telling the truth. Because they forget they told you the story, but when they tell you again, they tell you the exact same thing.
Like I was like, what is this smell? Everybody else loved it. I was like, this stinks to me. You know what I mean? Like I do not. She's like, you really don't like it that much. I was like, I do not like it.
Did you give it
green eggs and ham?
Did you give it away? Did you get rid of it?
She actually gave it away
I
to
know
my
you were so
sister.
happy.
I was like,
well, how does it smell on your sister?
I don't like it at all. Like
Okay.
at first I thought it was on her, and then I just sprayed it like on something like a piece of paper, and I was like,
You still
yeah,
that ain't the move.
this is not for me.
Okay, so is
Alley
it safe
cat
to say? I don't know what alley cat piss is.
And this
Smell like
some
butt.
alley cats over like a
Riff
barrel
Raff
with
and
some fire
Heathcliff?
over that mug.
Riff Raff and
Passing some
Heathcliff?
wild Irish rolls. So, nights like this, I wish.
Raindrops with
Telling you, man.
hilarious. Okay, so it's safe to say that if a guy compliments you on a perfume and that's what he likes, just keep wearing that same perfume.
If you want the guy, it's gonna help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know that you guys like women who are supportive, that build you up.
Who doesn't like that?
No, I'm just asking. Is it safe to say? Does it get overbearing? Like,
Yeah.
it
Don't
does?
treat me like I'm 5.
See, so how do you know when to stop?
I'm gonna tell you. I can't
Stop gassing me up.
I'm
You gonna say stop gassing me up, Shim?
something like that. Like, don't treat me like I'm 5, but I want you to know. I want to know that you there for me if I need you.
Okay.
That's what I want to know. And then, if you're in a relationship, it's like, okay, everyone likes validation. I told you, all right, listen.
Definitely.
So I don't need you to say it to me every day, but I need to know that I'm important and I'm valued in your life. Because at the end of the day, if I don't feel like that, somebody else gonna make me feel like they value me, and that's where I'm gonna be looking.
Okay, now you said you don't need to hear it every day because why? It becomes diluted. The meaning becomes diluted.
Yeah, and I start questioning, like, is this
Is she just saying
a
it?
platitude? You know what I'm saying? I want to know you genuinely mean. Now, if you tell me, you know what I'm saying, yeah, I don't need to hear it every day.
Somebody come and be like, "Ooh, you fine."
Yeah, I don't need to hear that every day. I don't, because I'm gonna think you bullshit. I mean, bull crap. Like,
I
was ready.
Acts. Yeah,
You gonna do what?
No, of acts. What is it called? Like it sounds like those
Love language?
are words of affirmation. Y'all talking about, but in that thing, it's like something like of acts or something like that. I'm more like, show me. Don't
Right.
be. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear nothing. But I think the thing like I've been like experiencing now is how vulnerable can you be? You know what I mean? Like I had a situation where I was like physically like jacked up,
Okay.
and I was just like, man, this is not really a position of power, you know what I mean? But it's like, what you gonna do?
But you
like,
still the
that you
head of the
can't-
household.
But you can't. I mean, it's like one of those things. Like, in those moments of true vulnerability, can I rely on that person? Can I count on that person to understand that? You know what I mean? Like if you in a situation I'll give just a brief example.
Okay.
Let's say somebody got a strict take off your shoes when you come in the house rule.
Okay.
Right? Okay, I understand that, right?
Okay.
But also, I think there's limitations to everything based off the situation. Like if you just got done working hard, y'all, like a man, y'all, all day long, like you might need to take a seat before you take off them shoes. I'm just saying. And so like sometimes, some things don't get fulfilled. But if you can't see the vulnerability in the person to say like, hey, I can understand what the rule is, but at the same time, I'm just happy to be here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I'm just, and this is not the art. This is not the conversation I want to have. Like this is not the conversation.
Okay,
Like-
so would you
like-
be okay if she took your shoes off for you?
That would be great. That
Okay.
would be great.
Why? Because you'd be out of breath.
Out of breath.
Taking your shoes off.
No,
You're like,
you might just be like, I just can't. My back hurt, my feet hurt. I just need to just sit down somewhere.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's my thoughts. It's like when you can reach a level of vulnerability and that person can actually recognize it and then act accordingly, I think that's where the magic happens.
Okay. Go ahead.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, because for me, well, the more I get comfortable in my skin, the less vulnerable I feel. Like, you know, when I tell my story or when I'm entertaining a woman and we just get to know each other and I speak about who I am and stuff, I become comfortable with my story, right? But it's still a level of vulnerability. Because I'm the type of dude, I don't believe that I should know everything about you in a relationship. I don't believe like you should know everything about me in a relationship. I don't believe that, right?
Okay.
Now, you shouldn't keep nothing back from me that's going to be detrimental to me.
Yeah.
But
Preach.
I don't believe in that. We got to share everything stuff.
I agree with you on that.
Well, all right.
I agree with you on that. You got some things are like.
But with that being said, like the more comfortable I am with me as a man, the less vulnerable I feel. But what's interesting is I've been in situations where I've shared things with women, and it's just like, I mean, they ready to take their panties off right there. But I'm just sharing my story with you. But they internalize it.
So is that sympathy coochie?
Sympathy.
But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But I think I think women are really turned on by a man who allows himself to be vulnerable, or at least they perceive him as being vulnerable. I think women are turned
he's sharing,
on.
he's talking.
You a woman?
Am I turned on by somebody telling me their sad story?
It's not necessarily a sad story.
No, I'm not.
It's not necessarily a sad story, man. It's their story.
Listen, no, I'm not, because what I end up doing, I ain't giving you my panties. I'll be like, oh man, let me go ahead and get him a Bible. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm like, let me give you a sandwich. Let me give you a hug. I'll be like, oh, I ain't getting moist off of that.
I mean,
but some people are, because you know what? Women are nurturers.
Absolutely.
Women are nurturers. I have a
and
relative.
Here's the thing: when they, like, for me, I'll just say for me, and I am an alpha male. But I'm perceived as such an alpha male, and because of my physical stature.
But we do like sensitivity.
So that's what they equate it to. Like, I can't believe that this big dude is sharing this with me. Like,
and see, let me say this. So you have. I'm going to agree with you on that, because when you have somebody, the exterior is hard, and we can get to that. But see, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. A roughneck. You want a roughneck. I ain't going to lie. Now, chicks, y'all don't want a roughneck. Roughneck turn me on, okay? You want that edge, but you need them to be a sucker for you only.
For sure.
That's the thing.
For sure.
For you only, not for everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I be like, nah, people be wanting to talk. You take him to the job, to the party, the company. No, he ain't going there because you don't need to get to know him. You just looking at that part. You be like, oh, okay, yeah, he fly. Boom, that's all you need to know. Bye. Because guess what I'm doing? Like, when we got to go to the bathroom, talk about but now we're we. We got to go to the bathroom. He be like, what? No, we got to go. Let's go. Because I don't want them talking to you. And just like y'all don't even know, just like when y'all put, listen, it's a woman code. It's a woman code. And here's the thing. Don't open the door for nobody else until you open the door for us. That's how it goes. I don't care. Listen.
What if y'all happen to be like in the same transaction? Like, it's like, you know, holiday traffic at the mall. Like,
holiday traffic at the mall.
People come out, you go in.
If it's another woman in front and I'm second, you better not touch that door.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. Now, if I'm in front, you touch that door and you can hold the door. I don't expect you to slam it on the next person. But, yeah, you can hold the door for her. But no.
So you only want me to show my gentleman etiquette with you?
Yes, hashtag I matter.
What if does the age of the woman matter? Like, if it's an old lady in front of you with a cane, if it's somebody in a wheelchair, like, they can't do, like, you be like,
tell her, honey, if you want him to hold the door for you, you might as well put the brakes on. Wait till I come on.
I think, like, if a man said that what you're saying to a woman, I gotta use the bathroom, so you gotta go use the bathroom because I want somebody to talk to you.
No,
y'all call us insecure.
No,
yeah,
let me say this. Let me say this.
Would.
It's not insecurity. This is what we do. This is what we do. We sit there. We like, you look at the person, and I'm gonna tell you something. You learn so much about the individual by who they date, and that is the truth. Who they are with by their mate. That's how you learn. So at the job, I'm extremely professional. But y'all know, and that's in my medical field, okay? But you kick it with me, I'm like, nah. So I'm at the job party. So guess what? That's a company party, so I'm going to be professional. Now, if I'm sitting there and I'm kicking it with a dude, that's why I ain't talk to this one dude. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He like, what's up? I was like, no, that ain't going to work. I'm sorry. What happened? And then he asked, he was like, well, what happened? How come you ain't never called me no more? Because you like, what's up? Like, can you say hello? How are you? Like, certain places, calls for certain etiquette. You know what I mean? So, no, I can't leave you here because I don't know what you're going to talk about. And then they'll figure out who, they'll try to learn who I am, and that is not who I am. That's it. They could just
just give the guy a script and say you only talk about these
I need
things.
somebody that's gonna look good on me.
You talk about a current event. What's the current event today? Hurricane? Talk about that.
Only. I'll be right back. Don't say nothing. Just be like, yes, no, how you doing? Don't tell me your personal business. Because people always ask, and they do ask that question. I went out, I'll never forget, we're out, and it's so interesting how basic conversation, who you don't know, is, so what do you do? Yeah,
that's a middle class conversation.
So what do you do? And I'm being honest. I'm the type of person, I don't even care what you do. I ain't gonna see you after here. You know what I mean? If I do, hi, bye. Let me enjoy the moment. Right now, I don't need your resume to talk to you. Let's kick it. Let's have a great time right now.
Yeah, I just think that's an easy way for people to be able to connect with somebody.
I don't want you to connect with me.
I don't like to question myself. I don't
so
like
what
to question myself.
Live, and I answer that way. I'm like, live. So what do you do? Live. Enjoy life.
They'd be like, CeeLo Green said it best on one of his albums. They're like, so what do you do? I do what I want.
Right. That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
But can you even talk about him now?
I know, right?
Yeah.
And I say that to and like you said, it's a middle class question.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Does that determine how you'll connect? Like you said, connect or converse with me? No, I want to have a good old time.
Yeah.
Regardless of what I do. Why do I got to show you my degrees?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the middle class is built off of achievement.
Validation, like you said.
What I'm saying? But the issue is, like, if you want to connect with somebody, ask them about a real question in the moment. Like, you don't have to ask them about, like, hey, does this cheese taste funny?
And we can pick it. I'm like, you good.
I don't
That's
know
what
about
you
this
trying?
cheese. Like, what do you think about this?
And that's a good. That's how you connect. Now, one lady I'll never forget. I was sitting there talking to her. She was really, really nice, and she asked, "So what do you do?" They thought I was mean because I didn't answer. I was like, live life. And then I went on, hey, how you doing? Boom. But the person that I was with, they ended up sharing what I did. You know what I mean? It was like, okay. So then when I came back down, she was like, I was in the medical field, blah, 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 blah. She's talking about what she did, the whole nine. I was like, oh, okay. But anybody that know me, y'all know I'm a radio personality. I'm a nurse second. Let's be realistic here. I like people. I'm a people watcher, people talker. And then we were communicating this. We went to hair, like you said, in a moment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I don't want to talk about work when I'm outside of work. And people tend to, and that's pretty much what it boiled down to. So what do you do? And do you want to talk about certain things? Look at Shep, you trying to hang on, huh?
I actually was trying to figure out what the bottom of your shirt was saying.
Oh, it says, you know it's going to be something. My shirt says, you can do all things through Christ, except come for me.
Come for me.
Look at him. What you say you do is going to be something, huh?
I knew it was going to be something.
Hey, that's it. We know that. So tell me, what is your ideal female?
The one I'm married, I better say.
Good answer. Good answer.
What's the answer that's gonna not get you out the house? I'll be out there like, Wilma. You know what I mean?
The ideal woman for you, yes, but we all know, like the listening audience don't know her. And for the first time listeners, welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. What's the ideal woman? So we already did smell, and if he likes that smell, don't be changing it up on him unless he decides to buy it.
Smells important. I mean, it smells important.
I didn't even realize how much smells were important. I spoke to like 5 different guys, and then 6, 7. So you guys mean too. So there's some legitimacy to that.
Does men have a stronger sense of smell?
Yes, that's what they say.
Yeah.
A stronger sense of smell. They say men. Men versus women.
Oh, okay.
And see, that's probably why.
Like
looks, y'all vision.
stuff.
That's why y'all vision is lower than ours. And we'd be like, he talking to her?
Hey.
She must smell good.
You never know.
But you're right. So once that smell is on you, and you, like you said, you smell that girl, you know her scent. Mm-hmm. So if it's a pleasant smell and you like that smell, do you crave that scent? If you like that individual, you like that smell, like it could be years later and you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Somebody that you actually been intimate with. Do
I crave it? That's a good question.
Because we know like with music, with scents and all that, it scents actually reminds you of where you smelled it before. Let's be honest.
You're right.
In every holiday season, whatever, the smell is, the sense of smell is really important. So if it's somebody that you've been with intimately and you smell that smell, does it take you back to that place?
Oh, yeah.
But I think like this is like there's this thing where they say, a woman is like a great bottle of wine, gets better with age and is always intoxicating. And I think that the issue of intoxication when you talk about smell is not just the smell of a person, but it's also like how Maya Angelou said, you may not remember what a person said to you, but you remember how they made you feel.
Yes.
And so like I think it's a combination of those things. But when you have those primal triggers that link to that person or event, because you could say, that reminds me of this. This reminds me of that, and then sometimes it can be, it could be a good thing, and sometimes it can be a bad thing, But the issue is,
it can be bad. You be like, ooh,
she can smell good, but then you start thinking about it. But she was a B.I.T.C.
Like, why did I leave her? Do you remember? Oh, this is why.
Or that first phone call, like, what?
Like, how you doing? And you're like, I forgot.
There we go. And that's when you kind of like bump heads. All right, Shimmy, what's your ideal woman?
I don't believe I have an ideal woman.
Okay.
We talking in general, a total package, right? Not just physical.
Total package.
I definitely want somebody. I want somebody that I know I used to always say this when I wrote poetry, right? I want somebody that I know gonna wipe my butt if I can't wipe it myself.
Okay.
And I heard.
Oh yeah, Mel already said she put people in the nursing home. She ain't got time for that.
She was like, "Here's a box of the piss. Here's some whites working out."
Let me show you how to do this.
Right, but that encompasses is for me. I say that because it encompasses so much. It's a mentality that takes that a person has to have to be willing to do that.
Okay, now I'm gonna say this. I'm going to say this on that. Now, y'all already know I ain't do no babysitting. I didn't. So, I ain't going to do no adult sitting. I mean, listen, I ain't trying to be funny, but for real, think about it, though.
I'll tell you.
Kyler Jenner side. We got to get some Kyler Jenner.
Listen, I am consistent. I'm consistent.
Mel, just because you're consistent don't mean sometimes you need,
But listen.
You're a nurse, right?
Yes.
When you read the EKG thing, what it do?
It go up and down.
So,
but if you an AFib, if you an AFib, I got you. If you an AFib, I got you.
Yeah, you're flatline.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let him like flatline. I ain't gonna let him like flatline. I ain't gonna let him like flatline. And if you an AFib, I'm like, let's go ahead, let's correct this. I got you. I got you. Now, as far as like when you say if it's your husband, see, and here's the thing, we talked about this, and some people get upset. You can't get upset with what somebody wants. I'm not going to dilute myself, which is the footnote today. I am not going to dilute myself to make somebody feel comfortable.
But why do you? Here's my challenge and my question to you is, and it was before we had this conversation. Why do you perceive that as diluting yourself?
Because when somebody don't want you to be who you are because they can't meet your standard, that's why it's diluting yourself to make you feel comfortable. Oh, okay, when you feel a certain way. Now, I want to address that issue before we go off air. Okay. Will I wipe my husband's butt? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would.
Progress.
Yes. Listen, I would. Honestly, I ain't gonna put him in no nurse home. Let me tell you why. I don't want nobody to see what he working with. You know what that be saying?
Go to the bathroom without you.
It's going down in the nursing home.
You know I know.
It's going down, Jack.
You know I know. It's like, no, I would. If somebody if I'm with someone and they got injured while I'm with them, am I going to leave them? No. That's a difference. If I'm with someone and they lose their job while I'm with them, am I going to leave them? No. Am I going to date somebody that do not have a job at the beginning? No. You know what I mean?
Well, what's the statute of limitations?
What's the expiration date?
Yeah. Like, how long can a dude just be there? Like, you like 10 years later.
Listen, it's for real. Like, if I'm not just gonna go. If that's the case, I could just talk to somebody out on the street.
This milk sours in.
Listen, listen, we're going in the year with just honesty. Let's just be honest. I am not, if I know my situation, they be like, oh, Mel, you ain't talking to, no, I ain't talking to nobody sick because I already know my situation. Both of us can't be sick. You know what I mean? Okay, well, what they got to do I want to deal with that? And love is love. To each his own. If you know somebody, God forbid that your man has cancer, and yes, people with cancer or some lethal, I ain't gonna say lethal. That's like some terminally ill, a terminal illness that when you met this individual, this is where they are. You chose to go ahead into that relationship. So if they pass, you knew it was coming. I choose to prevent myself from that heartache. Now, if something, listen, wait a minute. Yeah. Listen. So I'm going into it, and if something occurs during the relationship, then no, I can't prevent myself from that particular heartache because I didn't know it was coming. But I'm not going to just leave somebody. God forbid they get in a car and do something like that.
People, what they call it? What's the R word?
Remission
from cancer all the time,
and they could. They definitely can. I ain't saying that they can. But guess what?
You ain't gonna stick around and find out.
Listen, no, we could be good friends.
How good?
We could be good friends, but I'm not going
like cuddle good.
Now cuddling boosts your immune system. They might go into remission. Remember we talked about that. You're gonna be a professional cuddler.
So he might need you to cuddle with him.
But listen,
you in the field of building people up, man.
Yes, I'm definitely in the field of building people up. But guess what? I ain't about to cuddle the whole time, though. Now you get 2 hours. You might get 2 or 3 hours. We gonna do this right here. Boom. This is what we gonna work on. Okay. All right. Now, what you got to say? It was something you was about to say.
I don't even know. I just gonna be quiet. That thing right now, be quiet.
Listen, I'm so serious. I met somebody that sat there and told me they work construction, so they off for the winter. Okay, well, it's nice outside. Am I going to talk to them? We could be friends, but in my mind, you already in the friend zone.
Well, if you got a seasonal job and you work consistently when it's in seasonal work and you have money, then you see the person and they still ain't working. That's the answer.
But if they asking you for something,
yes.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah. See, yes. So it ain't because let me say this. Because of the type of person I am, because there was a time where I wouldn't date somebody if they had so many children because I knew, once I got a divorce, how many I had. Only because I'd be like, I'm not going to do that. Because if something were to happen, because I will take on them and what they have as my own. And I know in order for me to live the way that I want to live, and where my income by itself, I know how many people I can actually do it and still live the way that I want to live and live comfortably. And I'd be like, oh, you got 1 child? Okay, that's cool. Boom, that's 3. Boom, boom, boom. I can do that. I already mapped everything out. Now I got a little older. I be sitting there and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to worry about that. But yes, you take on that, their whole family. You take on their family and it's like, is this something that I want to do? Am I willing to do this? So like you said, I was going to put my mama in a nursing home. Listen here, I'll make sure she's in the best place ever. However, let me say this, at this age, that's not what I want to do. Now, when I get a little older, I probably will. I just got the little people out the house. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I want to be no responsibility. Right. So it's like, now if I go from responsibility to more responsibility, when am I going to get the opportunity to live freely in the way that I want to live? Because I'm going to tell you something, a caretaker, kudos to the caretakers. That is a huge responsibility. You did it for how long? How long?
All my life.
Well, I mean, just recently though.
And at least like the last year.
And that takes, that is a huge responsibility and you have to stop what you're doing.
It was a shared one.
Yeah, and it was shared.
Like everybody played a different role.
Right. Everybody. So just imagine it's just one person.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
I was thinking about that. I was having a conversation with my son and I was like, I probably should have more kids. So
it can be shared because, and then you look at, like my grandmother, kudos to her. My grandmother was like, no, put me in a nursing home because I want you guys to live your life. And that was so, and she would go visit the sick all the time. But that was so unselfish of her. And I hate to say it sounds selfish because we, our culture, we take care of our own. That's what we do.
I was selling my son on my resume. I said, well, check it out. Once I get of a certain age, as before I was married, I was like, I could be the perfect nanny. I was like, I have a background in early childhood.
You would be the perfect nanny.
Blah, blah, this and that, and cook, I was like, you can just move me in and give me a little stipend, and there you go.
And that is good, but guess what?
And he's like, nah.
But I'm going to tell you something. Your house will never be your house when you have your parents staying there.
It will be for me, because I'll be like, oh, this is my little space? Okay.
Listen, no, because there's a level of respect. There's a level of respect. When you have your parent living in your home, it's like, yeah, I pay all the bills, but it's kind of like it's still your parents' home because out of respect. You're not going to bring, like being single, you're not going to bring some guy over. Okay, well, yeah, you could spend a night knowing that your mom is downstairs in the in-law suite or there. You're just not going to do it.
You got like a little house outside. Yeah.
But if your mom is not, then it's like, oh, okay, well, come on. You could spend a night, we could chill, we could do, and you find yourself sneaking as an adult, and it's like, you got to sneak a kiss with a dude.
I can't even envision that.
You can't even, as a guy, so you think that's a female thing?
I think so, but I can't envision sneaking doing nothing at 40-something years old.
See what I'm saying? But you find...
Mama, grandmama, whoever in the house, I ain't...
In your house?
Yeah.
It is. It's a little different,
Now,
just out of respect.
If they're in the room next to me, that might be different. Downstairs, it's all...
It's like a level in a room aside,
Right.
It'd be totally different. Hey, that is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you. Happy New Year's. Real quick, do you have a New Year's resolution?
Just to be better.
Just to be better, do you have a New Year's resolution?
Yeah, get back in the gym.
To get back in the gym? Okay. So that's it. So just make sure that your goals are attainable. If you haven't, that's my advice to you. Today's footnote. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you two of them. One is whatever your New Year's resolution or wherever your goals are for 2020. And even though they say 2020 vision, all that other stuff, just make sure you make them
that's
short.
Actually, that's the best vision.
Yeah, it is. That's supposed to be the best vision. It's not? Okay. Just make sure that you're able to obtain those so that you keep it for longevity. So just have don't do anything over the top. Like say if you're going to run, be like, I'm going to run 10 miles a day. Okay, well you run marathons. That's attainable. But if you ain't never ran, you come in the house and you need help taking off your shoes and you talk about some 10 miles, just start small. Start small.
Hey.
Take off your own shoes.
I ran a marathon the other day. Well, almost a half a marathon.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I didn't run it. I walked it.
But you did it.
But I had like 24,000 steps, and I was like, holy. And that was like in an 8-hour period.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Back time.
So lovely people, just make sure whatever it is that you choose to do, make sure you do it. Make sure you stay positive. And as long as you're not harming anybody, you will be okay. And again, today's footnote, like I said before, do not dilute yourself to make others comfortable. Do what it is that you want to do. If you have goals, achieve those goals. If you put your pen down for a minute, pick it back up in 2020 and say, okay, I can obtain this and I plan on doing this, and go for it. Execute it, okay? You got your play. You wrote your play. Go ahead and execute it. All right. So that is my time, lovely people. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. Thank you for tuning in to Shop Talk with Mel every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Shop Talk right here on your Spreaker.com.